ladies and gentlemen, every now and then it's good to laugh, and this is one of those moments. Y'all remember old Curtis Sliwa? Well, this is one of these people that try their best to stay relevant when they should have just got out of the spotlight like maybe 30 years ago. They should have got out of the spotlight. Well, he was on a live interview, y'all, and he called himself taking down a migrant on a live interview. Well, come to find out, the person he took down was a US citizen. Seriously, Curtis, you should have been retired. Go somewhere and retire for real. So, New York vigilantes take down migrant on live TV, but he was from the US. So, he was on an interview with Sean Hannity. And y'all remember Curtis Sliwa. He was the founder of the Guardian Angels. And they were really labeled a vigilante group in New York. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a bizarre event played out Tuesday night during a primetime segment on Fox News. And they were talking about the migrants and asylum and how they're all arriving in New York. So that was the topic of conversation. So Curtis Leawall, the founder of the Guardian Angel, proclaimed, in fact, your guys have taken down one of the migrant guys on the corner of 42nd Street and 7th, where all of this has taken place, throwing his hands in the air, adding, they've taken over. The man, he was not a migrant, but rather a New Yorker from the Bronx. The police, yeah, they gonna pounce on this man and make a I guess they think they can eyeball whether somebody's a migrant or not. New York already got people that look like many of those migrants that are American citizens, you know? And maybe instead of pouncing on somebody, maybe you should find out who they are first. You could have found out real easy that they're a New Yorker just like you, Curtis. You and your people. Yeah, that is bizarre. So this dude was from the Bronx, born and raised in the US. So the police said Wednesday afternoon, Sliwa claimed the man had been caught shoplifting. Police provided no evidence to support the allegation. So Curtis and his guardian angels are trying to claim this man was shoplifting. When they went to the surveillance camera, they saw no shoplifting. It sounds to me, Curtis, the guardian angels are no different than the police. Y'all do the same thing. You apprehend the wrong people. Okay, so while the disturbing altercation played out on national television, Hannity blasted Democrats for the surge of Joe Biden's unvetted illegals in New York. Okay, so you gave this speech during a time when a US citizen was being apprehended. Man, all of y'all look stupid on this one. And that could be because the so called border czar is a little distracted right now, allotting to the vice president, Kamala Harris. Kamala ain't going nowhere near that border. So, according to New York Police Department spokespersons, officers arrived to find a man detained by bystanders after he allegedly tried to disrupt a live interview. Police said the man had been issued a disorderly conduct summons because he had been acting in a loud and threatening manner on a public sidewalk. Okay, well, unfortunately, here in America, a lot of people act that way. They do. A lot of them do. The spokesperson did not respond to questions about whether any members of the Guardian Angels were under investigation for their role in the altercation. The incident did come after a brawl in Times Square between the police and a group of asylum seekers. Y'all know what they're talking. Those two cops that got kicked around on when they were down on the ground and those migrants came up and start kicking them in the head and all over the place. That's what they're talking about. So, but y'all are a trip up in New York. So the migrants are not a major problem until a cop get attacked. But all the other stuff they were doing prior to that, that wasn't that bad, huh? Wow. And you wanna know why nobody respects politicians and cops in this country? Mhm. Okay. So, they said, some advocates of immigration have blamed the local officials and police departments for stoking fear of migrant crime wave. Well, there is a migrant crime wave in all of these cities. Even the city's crime rate remained largely unchanged. The available, they're saying there's tens of thousands of asylum seekers, and this spokesperson is claiming that the city crime rate has not changed, which I absolutely don't believe them. So, in an interview, Sliwa said he believed the man was a migrant because he was speaking Spanish. Sliwa, you do realize y'all got a lot of folks in communities there that speak in Spanish. You do realize that, right? How can you be from New York and not know that? So because this guy was speaking in Spanish, he said, okay, he got to be a migrant. He got to be a migrant. Boy, that man can now sue you, Curtis, you and the Guardian Angels. You can be sued by that man. So he was put down so he wouldn't hurt himself or anyone else, Sliwa said, who has admitted in the past that he has fabricated. This Sliwa admitted in the past he has fabricated stories of criminal behavior to sensationalize the issue of immigration. Well, I don't know why you're not just a cop, Curtis, because cops do the same thing. They do the same thing. So I don't know why you just don't join the police force. It's all the same. Okay. I mean, why aren't you just in because the police do the same thing. They fabricate crimes just to arrest the black citizens in New York or just to do stop and frisk. You're no so how is the Guardian Angels any different from the police? Wow. So wow. So the Guardian Angels have been a fixture in New York since 1979 when Sliwa founded the patrol to streets and mainly you saw them a lot on subways. If you ever traveled the subways back then, you would see them on the subways. And it eventually drew criticism, and the reason why the Guardian Angels, ladies and gentlemen, drew criticism because they just kept targeting black people. And, that was really their main target. And so, and anybody else they ignored. So they were pretty much doing the same thing NYPD was doing out there. So, once they were very popular, and then when people saw how they were just targeting certain people, they kind of fell from grace from that point on. So, city councilman Eric Botcher, who represents the area around Times Square, said the group should not be detaining people without legal authority. Vigilantism is not the answer, Botcher said. The civilians take justice into their own hands, and it can escalate conflicts and lead to even more dangerous situations, putting everyone at risk. And then, of course, they're referencing Daniel Penny and what has happened to Jordan Neely as an example of that. So, y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think. I think Curtis Sliwa and the Guardian Angels need to have 10 seats for real. You know, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.